engaged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
Damn good coffee and hot.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with the Dog. You make me laugh.
I hope so. I'm very tired. Very, very. But the man's rocking. Oh, yeah. I don't know. Makes me want to bang heads. Kind of rush, right? Oh, yeah. Good morning, folks. It is Thursday. Yeah, probably a second favorite day of the week. Thursday, May 11th, 2023. George Orwell had it perfect, except it was 40 years off. You think about it, next year is 40 years from 1984, and everything in the book is a perfect picture of where we will be a year from now. If you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, don't worry about it. Neither do I. I'm talking about town hall meetings that I did not watch, but I could have told you what the reactions would be. I could have predicted the behavior, and everybody can't help themselves. They they go and watch anyway. Listen, if you don't want to see the kind of crap that I know happened on the CNN town hall last night, just don't watch. The best thing you could do, Mom always said, just ignore them. They'll go away. I promise you. And society hasn't figured this out, or maybe we have, but can't put it into action. Just ignore Trump. Let him go. Let him go. The voice is a little low because I did not sleep. I'll get back to that. That stuff, the did not sleep stuff. But so the town hall is predictable, you know, and of course people who love him respond to him, you know, just trampling over questions, not accepting being fact checked, you know, striking back at the questions or the host and the moderator, all that kind of stuff, all could have been predicted. The thing with all these guys, and Trump is absolutely the worst of them, and I'm not saying Democrats and Joe Biden aren't corrupt. It's all about money. Everything is about raising money. And Trump is doing it now. He's just trying to make money off of this every way. They always look to monetize every fart that they have. No more apparent than when George Santos threw up his hands and said, "Which hand?" And then went on an immediate fundraising tour. George Santos, if you don't know, is a congressman from Long Island, New York, who got indicted. And he's using the cult language. Which hand? and then immediately goes into fundraising mode. Now, Joe Biden is fundraising as well, and all his funds, all his money for running for office, and they're always, who's giving that money? I'm not giving that money. Corporations are giving that big sums of money so they can buy politicians, but poor people are sending their food money, their rent money. Oh, you hear that voice cracking now? And why? Especially in a president. Or any kind of reason. You got billionaires and multi-millionaires. Let them pay for their own shit. Do you want to run for a president so you can be a corrupt motherfucker and run everything and increase your bottom line while you're in office? Pay for your own damn campaigns. They're grifting constantly. All of them. Both sides. But listen, nobody is more of a grifter. Donald Trump is he's the holy grail of grifting. he is he is the goat of grifting, of con artistry. He puts P.T. Barnum to shame. It's all about that. So, congratulations, CNN, for being, they did not have to do that. They went for ratings to give a guy who platform that he has anyway. He owns Truth Social. He can spout his nonsense all day long over there. You don't need to put him on television to tempt the people who don't have enough self control to say, "I ain't watching a fucking nanosecond of this crap." I did not watch a nanosecond of the crap, but I have to admit I mildly amused at all the reactions. Like, people are shocked at what they shouldn't have been shocked that. It's like they're shocked that, the sun comes up the next day. They're shocked that the sun sets at night. If you didn't know exactly what to expect, shame on you, not shame on CNN, not shame on Donald Trump, not shame on anybody. Shame on yourself for not knowing that's exactly how it would go. So, anyway, uh, Team Madden is the scheduled guest today. He's from Alabama. And seems to have a very full schedule. And I look forward to talking to him. Um, it should be an interesting conversation. Um, I think he might still be a little hungover from 2 days ago, actually, according to his Facebook. Uh, anyway. So last night on Twitter, first of all, I have to say, let me start off by saying the reason I was up very late last night. I got a new batch of edibles. And these are fast acting edibles. They're only 15 milligrams each, but super fast acting. Super strength, it says, but it's only 15 milligrams. Yeah, 15 milligrams THC. Right? It's 15 milligrams Delta 9 THC. Just rechecking the label. I only had one. And it was fast acting, and it kept me up till 3 a.m. Uh, working pretty focused. Good sativa buzz. Um, so up very late, and that's why the voices. Um, so maybe my tolerance thing is unbroken, and maybe I'm back on track with that. But so I was on Twitter in between rendering stuff out and putting ads and all that kind of crap. And I saw under the trending what's happening now. I should preface this by saying Jackie Martling was on the show yesterday morning, and John Locken got to meet Jackie, and it was kind of a good, moment for him. So I'm on Twitter at 1 a.m. and I see R.I.P. Jackie is trending. That's curious. and first thing I see is this. Uh, and I was like, "Oh, you got to be fucking kidding me!" Turns out, no, that was just a joke, a bad joke, but a joke. Jackie Zeman or something like that from General Hospital, the redhead. Here's the thing with her. She was married to Murray the K, he called himself the fifth Beatle. I don't even think the Beatles even liked him, to be honest with you. He was a DJ here in Long Island, New York. But he was much older than her. But when she was on television, when I was a young man, probably in my 20s, I think she was a little older than me, and I never, just could have been just an older lady. Now, when you're 22 and somebody's 30, that's old. Wow, look at that old person. Anyway, never found her all that attractive. But then people were sharing pictures and video of her last night. Man, she was a beautiful woman. I guess your perspectives and your taste and your appreciation of beauty change as you get older. Uh, but it's funny to me because I remember clearly not thinking, because all those women on the soap operas were very attractive. I don't want to know the names. You know what I'm saying. Because I'm a misogynist. Um, all right. Yesterday I put out an ad for co-host on three different platforms: on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Looking for a co-host. Now, if you don't know, since Kiera left a year ago, I've been trying to get a suitable replacement. Somebody to fill the void that sh- she left when she left the program. I thought it was starting to go in the direction that I wanted. And then, building a team is important, and having more than just me on this dopey thing every morning, especially when I'm all everybody's allowed to have one of those days. I'm having one of those days. Anyway, so I've been looking for a year and getting no response. Even at my gig last weekend, I was hitting on the weight they thought I was hitting on. And I knew it would come off like that. The young waitresses, I was saying, you want to be on radio? You got a good, you got a good face for streaming television. Come on, I need young, youthful female energy. Whoa. But it's what I'm looking for. And now it doesn't have to be female. It doesn't have to be, but I think it would be good to be. And hear me out with this because I don't know where I'm going to with this anyway. I don't know. Oh, one more thing. Um, I put on Twitter. I'm not a blue check mark guy on Twitter. I can only get the 144 characters because Elon Musk wants my $8, and I'm too cheap, and I don't like him. I'm not giving a guy with $240 billion my $8 a month to have more than for something I'm never going to use anyway. Okay, so I can only put one paragraph in there with the ad on Twitter, and then somebody says, "Well, what's it pay?" It was Ian who said, "What's it pay?" So I put in the part where it's probably not for you anyway, because in the ad it said, "I prefer a youthful female." Uh, but did go on to say it's not a deal breaker, and I would take a male or a non-binary person if they were the right fit for the program. And I put that paragraph in there saying it might not be a good fit for you, and somebody else comes back with you're looking for a lawsuit for as misogyny. Good luck with your shitty podcast. Wow. Good luck with your shitty podcast. That does hurt. As much as I'd like to pretend those things don't sting, that stings for a second. But I know where it's coming from, and it has nothing to do with the podcast. But first of all, it's not misogyny; it's reverse misogyny. I kind of talked about this on the show, my no show last night. Um, it's reverse misogyny. This program is almost over testosterone. There's too much maleness here, and to give an opportunity to a female to bring some female perspective and tone down my weird, masculinity and the all the all the other guys that are part of this coming in and coming out of this thing. Most of the guests, most of the people in the chat rooms, most of my audience on the demographics we have, I think it's 75% male or even more on the listenership. It's heavily masculine, testosterone city around here. So to invite some estrogen in uh, is not necessarily misogyny. It's the actually the reverse of that. It's to temper down the misogyny that is already here, that I bring with me everywhere I go, because that's what I would. I don't make any bones about it. I was raised in a very misogynist world, and old habits are hard to break. And I am. If anybody knows, anybody who really watches this shitty podcast knows that I am all for giving women uh, equal rights, and especially in the arts that we're talking about, that I talk about most often, music and comedy, because those are my worlds, and I have witnessed pretty straight on. I mean, how many women rock stars have really kicked ass? But when we give the top 10 guitar players, you never see a woman's name in there. Top 10 top top 10 bass players. Nobody ever lists Carol Kay or Ty Wilkinson, or nobody ever puts women in their list. Even top greatest bands, nobody put. It's just no recognition and pay and all that stuff. So nobody's more of pro women really than I have been. So the misogyny thing is not where it's at. I know the guy who said, I don't really know him, but I know enough about him to know what the real core of this issue was, and it has nothing to do with being misogynist. The other part of it, and the good thing about it's got a ton of response, but a lot of women, I put a lot of women off by saying useful, and they were saying, "Well, I'm not young." I got a lot of emails so far and a few DMs, which I asked for DMs, not emails. I think I asked for both, but uh, that said, I'm not young. I'm this age. I'm that age, and most of those number to me, if I'm being quite honest, they were young, like 35, 39, 32, something like. They To me, that's young, but they say I'm not young. Listen, you could be 65. Youthful is not a number. Youthful is an energy. That's what I'm looking for. And now I have to explain that. I thought by using the word youthful purposely instead of young, um, that message would be out there. But so I got 348 responses now. I'm like, what did I do to myself? I got to get back to people about this co-hosting opportunity. And Kat, she might have been joking, or she might have been just drinking in the park and just being on Twitter. But she said, she I'm in, and if she really wanted the gig, I would not have to look through any of these 348 responses, 349 responses, whatever the hell it is. Now I got work to do. I mean, Kat would be. All she have to do is say, "I want it," and she could be here starting Monday. Anyway, I don't know if she's serious. I did get a lot of responses. You know, it's weird because it's going to be an audition process. It has to be an audition process. You can't know if I feel a chemistry with them and can relate to them in this forum um, until you try it. You can't. So all of it. Can I do 348 auditions? Probably not. Once we get down to having a phone conversation, a lot of those people will drop interest. But it's still, even if more than half of them do, still could be 150 auditions. I can't give each one a show. I'd be here for waiting for months and months. So what do I do? I because I got no response for like a year, and now I got like 349, 348. Wait, let me see what it is. What's hold on. What? Well, you don't really need to know just yet, really. But I'll look while I. See, the problem is I can't type and talk at the same time. Um, but I want to be right about what the numbers are here. Ba, 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 ba. Anyway, I'm also very interested. What are the numbers here? Wow, 679. Holy crap! I don't know. Um, I don't know how I'm going to deal with that. 670. And now, I bet a lot of them are spam emails, probably Russian bots and stuff. Uh, wow. I'm intimidated by that. 600. And maybe I should pull the ads down now. Because I know I read 3 or 4 of them. And I know there were 3 or 4 good ones in there. If there can't be 679 good ones, that would kill me. See what I do to myself? This is the thing. And by the way, Team Madden is 8 minutes late, 10 minutes late, right? 12 minutes, no, 7 minutes late. I'm all over the map. I'm all over the map with my numbers today. Um, so I wonder if T is going to show up. It was like this shouldn't be. This took 5 or 6 emails back and forth about dates, times, all this stuff to get it right. He was very excited about doing it. Of course, that's what they all say that. And now he's a no-show. All right, I'll take a. You know what? In a minute, I will take a commercial break, and when I do, if he's not here by then, I will start emailing him or trying to DM him or whatever contact method I have on him. On Monday, I'm supposed to go for a colonoscopy. Not a colonoscopy. I'm sorry, an endoscopy, which is the other way. It's the other end, the endoscopy. Uh, I'm probably not. I'm probably gonna roll the dice. um, if you don't know what an endoscopy is, I think I talked about how they pump your stomach yesterday with Jackie, when they stick a hose down your throat into your stomach and all that stuff. Uh, that's what they do with an endoscopy, but there's a camera on it. They stick a camera through your these oscopies. I could take the end, not so much the oscopy. All the colonoscopy, endoscopy, all these oscopies. They want to stick cameras in holes where no cameraman was meant to go. If God had wanted a camera in your butt or in your throat, well, I don't know where I was going. Sometimes you just go down a road and you say, "Hey, wait a minute, this is just a dead dirt road. Ain't going nowhere." That's what that was. Uh, yeah. Good morning, Doc. With that, speaking of oscopies, Doc with the glove on it. Yes, please do come back on the show. Or just pick a date. Go to. I'll send you a link to the calendar. But it's minddogtv.com/booking. I am really out of it, but I made it here. I'm pointing at T because he didn't make it here yet. There's a big picture of him sleeping in his bed, hung over from wine from 2 nights ago. No, they're not women. Not all women call. But good morning, Carl. Carl, if you want to pop in and talk to me, Carl. You don't have to. But no, they're not all women. A lot of guys, because I did put in there that it did not have to. And I don't know. Well, I assume they're guys because they didn't go. I also put in the non-binary stuff. So a name that could sound male could be whatever. So they're not all women. And I could. I don't want to go through them right now. I'm shot, man. But so the other thing I wanted was contributors. Regular segment contributors. I'll be putting an ad out for that. I have figured out a way to get some minor monetization for people who are doing bits, and so if you're familiar with the old Daily Show with Jon Stewart, because I haven't watched it since Jon Stewart left, but the Daily Show with Jon Stewart and the contributors he would have on those programs, Larry Wilmer, Lewis Black, Rob. I can't remember Rob's last name, but Stephen Colbert was one of them. The other Stephen, the movie Stephen, the guy from The Office. Anyway, I'm doing a Robert Klein here. Forgetting all the names of people, and he said this would happen, and he's right. But so people who do 3-minute segments, maybe once a week, twice a week, is as much as they have ambition to do, and a way to get some sponsorship on those. It's a great way to hone your chops for television or radio if you want bigger things. For your writing, and it could be people who either are in stand-up, improv, sketch comedy. They could be pre-recorded. They could be just live bits. 3 to 5 minute segments. It doesn't even have to be 3 to. It could be 1 to 5 minutes, really. And we can find a way. I'd actually have mild monetization set up for that to get it started. So it's like an internship with a small stipend attached to it. But I think it would be a good thing. And I want to talk to people who are at the low level of comedy club or improv work to talk about what would fair compensation look like for that. What would you expect to get paid for? I don't know. Maybe it takes an hour to write something and 5 minutes to film it, or actually do it live. What would you expect to get paid for that? This is a conversation to be had, but I'm definitely willing to go there to make the show better. This is the first no show in the morning in a while. That wasn't a planned no show. Anyway, actually, it was very excited about coming on the program. And like I said, there were a dozen emails that gone back and forth here. So I'm going to play a commercial. I'm going to go see if I can track him down. And I'll be back in a minute. Enjoy your coffee. Enjoy your coffee morning here. This episode is brought to you by Koa Coffee. If you are a coffee connoisseur and want to experience the best coffee Hawaii has to offer, no blends, no compromise, try the true taste of aloha. Koa Coffee produces premium Hawaiian coffee, hand-picked, expertly roasted, and delivered from Hawaii to your door with aloha. From award-winning 100% Kona coffee grown on the slopes of the Mauna Loa volcano to the unique mocha beans of Maui, they strive to provide their loyal customers with the best quality and freshness. Since 1997, Koa Coffee has been known far and wide as a product of utmost quality, and their awards prove it. Koa Coffee was featured in Forbes' Top 10 Coffees of the World. This is the coffee Forbes called the best coffee in America. Find out what it's all about. Go to minddogtv.com/coffee.
Coffee with a Dog, weekdays 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I don't know what she just said. Something about a dog at 9 a.m. or something. I don't know. I did try to get in touch with T. This is interesting. I've been pronouncing his name Tay or Ty, whatever, Tay, I think, because it's spelled T-A-E, Madden. But in his videos, he calls himself T. T is T-E-A. I'm confused. Is this a donkey thing? By the way, washing machine. Jackie says washing machine. Oh boy, it's one of those days. I strongly, you know what? I have a new sponsor starting tomorrow, and it is Mood Cannabis, and I was talking about. I might as well start endorsing it now. Super strength, fast acting gummies. And I'm telling you, unless there is something really wrong with my glasses, 15 milligrams, one of these is 15 milligrams, and it's more impactful to me than when I ate like 300 last week. 300 milligrams, not 300 of those, 300 milligrams. Good stuff. And if you're a creative person, if you like the buzz to do production crap, I'm not. This is not a sponsorship bullshit pitch. Good stuff. It will get you to the place you need to be in a creative mindset pretty quickly, and then keep you there for hours and hours and hours. That's what I will tell you. So try it out, but wait until tomorrow when I can put the links in the description and all that stuff, so you get the right links, because it's one of these things where we're going to be counting the traffic that we drive. Hopefully, we drive to their business. It's kind of surprising to me that, and this might end up getting me banned from some platforms like Facebook or YouTube or I don't know how they look about, but I know we couldn't put ads for cannabis even as recently as like 2 years ago. Yeah. Well, right, maybe the pandemic gave me a time warp here. Right around January of 2020 is kind of where we were still trying to put ads for the cannabis industry on Facebook, and they said no, even though we limited it to states that it was legal in, they still wouldn't let us put ads on. So I don't know, when with them being a sponsor starting tomorrow, how that's going to affect the program. It might end up getting me, I don't know, deplatformed, or if I get maybe I can let it go and see if we get a strike. See, here's the problem. I know this is no show for everybody. This is fucking boring as hell. But hey, the guest didn't show up. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Sing and dance? You want me to dance? Where the hell was I? Oh, with the deplatforming stuff, they will give you a strike. I got a copyright notice from episode 16. Episode 16 was 2 years ago, I think, around 2 years ago. I got, they just noticed it now. This week, I got a notice that there was a copyright issue with episode 16. So you could, if I did too many of them with things that might get me in trouble, and then they found a couple in a row, I could be strike 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out, Bugs Bunny style. 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out. See, I'm telling you, those edibles are pretty good. And the other thing I noticed about edibles, the incredible edible, you hallucinate when you try to sleep in this. You not only you get they not the only way they can be described is trippy dreams, hallucinations, like an acid trip, a mild acid trip with your eyes closed when you go to try to get some sleep. This is why I didn't sleep. I mean, it was a fascinating slideshow going on in my head. A 3D animation courtesy of, I don't know, Mood Rapid Onset Gummies. That's what they're called. Super Strength Rapid Onset Gummies. Rapid Onset. Speaking of rapid onset, let's say hello to Rapid Onset Carl.
Hello, this is a girl, and I want to work with you on your podcast. I'm email 1074.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for applying. No, seriously, young lady, can you show me your tits?
Sure.
Well, they're not bad. Not bad.
Not
Proud of
bad.
you.
Good.
Not bad. No, what the hell? What I don't know. Maybe it's because I went out of my way to do some nice graphics with the ad this time. But I've been doing this for a year and got no response, and now all of a sudden, response from every corner of the of the internet. What do you think?
You got some Kazakhstani non-binary applicants?
I don't know. I got to read them. I know the first 4 or 5, the ones I read, were from people mostly I think you would know. Some that I think I should know. They say they listen to the program. I've never seen them in a chat room.
Yeah.
And you only get handles and stuff and email stuff, and you get first names with the emails that come through. So some people know me, but I don't know them. But I know I haven't looked through all of them yet. Couple of guys.
They were up to no good. Started
Somebody
making trouble in my neighborhood. Sorry.
somebody said that Stanhope was a reference.
What do you mean?
It was there.
We'll have Stanhope as a reference.
Yeah. Like he referred that, come on, right? What? No. Or
Maybe.
does that mean that he will vouch for them? Like I can go check. Hey, Doug Stanhope, you vouch?
Yeah, but it could. You do have a few Stanhope fans listening. It could be one of those ones that just occasionally threatens to sell their house and move to Biddy,
Yeah.
and hang out at Safeway.
See, yeah. Yesterday I had Jackie Martling on
I caught a few minutes. Yeah, I was busy yesterday, but I caught a few minutes.
Did you catch the end where John Locken got to meet Jackie and he was excited about it?
Oh yeah, that's what I saw.
Yeah. So then he went on Facebook and was talking about how he was excited about meeting Jackie and was thanking me for it. I was like, it's not like I introduced you to Groucho Marx, but okay. I mean, I appreciate it. I love Jackie.
You did introduce him to Groucho Marx first.
But so I'm on Twitter last night. It was Jackie Day here. And then I'm on Twitter last night, and in what's happening, it says R.I.P. Jackie. I was like, what the fuck? And then I saw this. You see, R.I.P. Jackie.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry for laughing, Jackie, but that is funny. So I don't know. It would worry me. To be fair, it would worry me if I saw R.E.P. Mind Dog, R.E.P. Jackie. Both could be believable in the first few seconds. I'd be like, huh?
Right,
No,
and
not
John
kinda.
had been talking about John and his sister, and people were talking about it in that Road Comics of America group because he reposted it and reposted a picture of him with Jackie on there,
Yeah.
and so it was Jackie Day, and then all of a sudden I see that, and I'm like, oh my god, no! Like how fucking ironic. We kept him on for 2.5 hours and
You
killed
killed him. You killed him. That's what it would have been.
That's a Seinfeld episode, man. Come on. And I'm Kramer. Yeah. So this guy, and I've had my first. Well, I had a no-show last night of a comedian in British Columbia, and first no-show, unplanned no-show, or no notice no-show in a long time on the morning show.
Yeah,
Hey,
you've been pretty good for a while, but this is the first, maybe slept in today.
yeah.
Maybe his mum's dead.
Well, he according to his Facebook profile, he got too drunk on wine 2 nights ago. He was
Can
sick
happen.
all day in bed yesterday, so
Yeah.
rookie. No, you got wine. I mean, I've had wine hangovers, but come on, they don't keep you from life. You get back in the game, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a pussy, they keep you from life. But I've had the odd day where I couldn't do much, but I tend to get shit done if I've said I'll do something. 99% of the time.
So, were you playing a game? You look like you were out playing what I call soccer.
No, this is just this. I'm going to go to the gym in this.
Wow.
Because my gym shirt I have on, but it's too small. So if I want to do certain things, it will ride up and my belly will hang out, and then I feel ridiculous. So I've got
I
this over
know.
the top.
I know the feeling. Yeah, I started wearing, gym clothes that were way too big for me just because of that. So I didn't ever have to wear. What will you do at the gym?
Whatever. So I don't like waiting around, so I'm going to do some weights, but it just depends. I'm not waiting around. If stuff's free, I'll jump on it for a few minutes and then move around. And if it's not, I'll have a quick look and then I'll go and do something else.
Now, is it like a corporate gym, like one of those big, like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's incredibly corporate and cheap. But the thing is, it's 3 minutes from here, so I can be in there at any time.
The thing with those corporate ones, I have to laugh at the people. You definitely have, and I'm sure you've seen this. The guy with the notepad, and he's like writing down how many reps and how many minutes or whatever, writing down every stat.
Yeah, there's some strange people in there for sure, but they're getting better. More than anything else, there's a lot of girls just in there doing weights now, so it tends to be pretty 50-50. There's less idiots. You see the odd guy with a string vest and just the vest that comes down here, so he's got his pecs out and he's a little bit oiled, and he's just doing dumbbells for 3 hours.
Like, that machine or that machine.
Yeah, you get a little bit of that, but it's not too bad. This one, it's just I try and go at quiet times because I can go at any time. It's open 24 hours as well, so I can go anytime. I like afternoons, just after lunch is good for me.
If I ever went back to the gym, I'm not going back to that gym. I'm getting my, when I finally get my ass out of this chair, I'm going to get free weights and set up my own home gym again. I can't do it anymore. I can't.
I like the home stuff. I'm going to get some stuff for home as well, but I'm just try to get back into it. I'm just using this for now, and I'm going to join some other ones that are around for different stuff. So yeah, it's a year of an attempt at fitness, even though I'm still a bit of a slug.
On social media yesterday, there was a post by a guy who said, "If your woman is going to the gym and you're not going with her, this is what you're not seeing. There's a thing after the workout they call cool down or whatever it is, and they're stretching, but the trainer is stretching her, and she's making moans that are not necessarily pain sounds, and basically saying that if you're letting your woman go to the gym on her own."
Yeah,
she's getting sexually molested by her trainer and loving every minute of it.
Yeah, well, they they probably don't have a girlfriend or a woman, so that's probably why they're thinking like that as well.
Yeah, but
what are you gonna do? Go with her and accompany her to every exercise and just make sure no one's looking.
Right. It's no people don't realize sometimes like people see the people who read that kind of stuff see through the facade of what this really is and what it's probably some guy in his mother's basement who never had a date
Yeah.
is imagining these things. Or sometimes it could be true. Sometimes we all are weak to temptation at times.
You want a fully independent woman. Here's one reason why. Give me some peace for an hour. Go to the gym. You want to go on vacation with your friends? Please go. I'll see you in
Yeah.
2 weeks. You know?
Uh, well, there's a guy we both know, but we only know him from Twitter. Well, maybe on moment here, moment there on podcasts. Um, who was like a super braggadocio. I had to leave a state because everybody was concerned that I was fucking their daughters because I was such a super stud. But now he seems to have been broken by feminism or something. Every tweet is like, "I hate women." Uh, you know what I'm talking.
Yeah.
To me, I'm like, what happened? Who broke you? This is a recent thing. It wasn't always like that, right?
Yeah, I don't. I listen. You can get obsessed. I always worry about when people get obsessed by one thing on
Right.
Twitter, like if it's politics or whatever you're angry at over and over again. That's all. It's worrying to me. I think it says more about your mental state.
Yeah.
Like go, go. I think the expression is go and touch grass. I think it's a good thing. Go outside. Go, live a bit of life.
Well, when I'm going outside, but it almost kills me every fucking time.
Hey, Becky.
Hello, Becky. Um,
Becky.
Becky. Craig was down in Becky Town. Craig went on. I believe Becky is near Tampa, and I think that if you can correct me if I'm wrong, but Craig was in Florida, Daytona, and Tampa. Uh, just last
Oh yeah,
weekend.
sorry. Took a vacation over there. That's right.
Yeah, good for him.
Going to
Uh,
SeaWorld, watching the watching the parrots with one feather left, where they pick the rest out. It's always
yeah,
good.
you know, yeah, on my Facebook, somebody wrote, once again, public service. There should be nobody from Florida should be allowed to do stand-up comedy. And I was like, "Do you mean people who live in Florida? Because nobody is from Florida." 'Cause I
Yeah,
guess
you're either bringing in tons of cocaine,
I,
or you're going
yeah.
to retire. You do some shady
Everybody
business
in
down there.
Florida, I don't think anybody was born there. Everybody came from New York or Chicago, or or Alabama. Or I guess my schedule gets today, but nobody. I mean, how do you define who's from Florida? So I don't think Florida in itself is the reason they suck. I don't know. I don't even know that they do suck. I don't know that that's true. But I mean,
I think it's probably more stereotype than anything else. But it's also, you forget that it's the deep south, right? You forget that it's because it's got Disneyland and a lot of tourists go there. But it's people are straight. I've met some locals in Florida, and they are strange,
yeah.
but
Well,
also lots of nice people. It's not as crazy as people think. But yeah, it's a little bit crazy.
yeah.
That's good.
What are your plans? What are I know you were doing some stuff last week, right? But what do you, when is your big mini tour that you're kicking off here?
Got two. So next week, next Wednesday and Thursday, so 17th and 18th at Brighton Fringe. So that's, yeah, I'm just working on some stuff for that now, and then after that, there should be a lot more. Manchester, Derby, Bath, lots of stuff going on. But we're going to try and get through these 2 days next week, and then yeah,
And
crack
for
on from
the
there.
marketing material, you do that yourself?
Well, someone was hired. Someone was hired via someone else, as I said before, and they didn't do the job. And there was all they kept. Apparently, it's still happening. It's not, because they're not getting any money. So, yeah, I did a little bit of it myself, but I'm going to hire someone for the next bunch of stuff. It did piss me off a little bit, but I trusted someone who trusted someone else. You know,
Right. Well,
can't do it.
I
Can't do
have
it.
some credit with some people and don't have jobs for them at the moment. If I can help, I mean, if you need any help with like flyer production or any of that kind of stuff, or
I might. Yeah, for sure. I'll have to hit you up then, because I was going to think of doing something like that, getting someone through, equivalent of Fiverr or Upwork or
yeah,
something. So I'd
yeah, I have.
definitely.
That's what I have. Upwork. I have unused credits for from one guy who does good work. So whatever. Um, but all that stuff is such a fucking pain in the ass. But I'm just, where are you? In like lots of, I know you're not on Facebook, but that to me, there's lots of groups over there that this is, I think, has a lot to do with the ad response that I put out there. Are you marketing in any of that kind of stuff, and is there?
I've done some stuff with Facebook ads and stuff this week, but I haven't done enough of it. But this week there'll be more posting in those kind of places as well. I do have Facebook, I just don't post on there a lot personally. But yeah, I'll try and do more of that as well.
I
It's
do
just I hate it. I hate it because I do everything for everything. Whatever podcast it is, I just do everything. So I'm beginning to resent it a little bit. So I want to start getting people to do stuff and paying people. I think that's going to be the move.
Me too. But I do 1,000 times more posting on Facebook groups than I do on my my personal page. Every once in a while, I'll just say the Mets suck or something like that. And everything I do with the streaming stuff automatically goes there. But for the most part, I'm posting in different groups now. That's probably why I got more response to this friggin' ad than anything. I was in intern groups and all those kind of job placement groups and all that kind of stuff, putting it in there yesterday. So what do you got there?
It's my phone.
Oh,
it's a telephone. Now they're mobile.
That's big. That's big.
And my hands are big as well, so it is pretty big.
Wow, that's pretty big phone there.
I took a video of you coming out of my bathroom on this very phone.
Oh.
No.
Well,
prove you were there.
Have you posted that? Have we seen me coming out?
I'm gonna post that. No, I was drunk and I took a video. I mean, I'll probably send it to you.
But... Oh yeah, I have a video of you just drinking beer.
Well, that's what I was doing. Well, I was beer and then you took 3 cameras to my hotel room and then didn't tell me you'd switched them on or started live streaming the podcast. And then we didn't have audio for 10 minutes, but the podcast was good.
Yeah, I might have lost the one that had audio on it. I'm such a dick sometimes, a lot of times.
So I think you had a camera up here.
Yeah, that's the one. I imported that. That actually had audio on it, but I think I put it on a drive that ended up crashing and lost that. I might have. I don't know. It's all just crazy shit.
There we go. It's filled up with home porn, whatever.
Yeah. Right.
I might have done that once, I might have left a tape with some footage on there a long time ago and it being put in a very public place. I think that might have happened.
When I used to work at a mastering plant as an engineer for cassette duplication back in the day when people bought cassettes of music. Yeah. But at times because I worked 3 shifts sometimes when I was there, and in the middle of the night when all the big bosses weren't around, we could use the studio for our own needs and make tapes. Well, we also had a video plant that was duplicating VHS porn tapes. Yeah. And somehow in the middle of the night, stoned or whatever I was, I patched the audio from the porn duplication video stuff into the audio of a cassette duplication. And 50,000, I think it was Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation, had one side of Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation, the other side was porn background, porn audio from a videotape. Got into QC and all that, and you have like 500 people doing quality control, and they play one side, and you see them bopping their head, and then they turn the other side, like all at once. Like, what the? Hey,
Daddy. Huh?
yeah. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
To
think
me,
it's
I
good.
still laugh at that.
I
Anyway,
think it's got to happen, and if you've ever worked in a place like that, there has to be one story. I want one story where that's happened, or I'm not believing you. Someone's spliced some porn, someone's
yeah,
done something by accident, deliberately on their last day.
yeah. Did you see my tweet about my brother? I don't know. My brother's 70 years old, and he dates women with 35 or younger, and complains that he's the sideman. Now he's got stage 4 cancer. Besides, he's been told he doesn't have long to live, but he feels fine right now. But it feels like I don't know. He was complaining to me about being a sideman. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? It's like complaining you hit the
He's a
lottery.
well, look, with all due respect to your brother, he's the side man of life right now. Okay,
Yeah,
Life's just keeping him hanging on for a little while longer. What my worry about being that age, if you're fucking someone who's 35, especially when you're sick, that you're gonna die on them or in them or up them,
fine.
all
I'd
over
take
them.
that. You know what?
Yeah,
If
but
because at lunch the other day with my friend Phil, of course, old guys, this is what we talk about: how we're gonna die, how you gonna die. Everybody we know has died. Had they died? Well, a lot of them committed suicide. Uh,
woo,
yeah, but all sorts of different suicides. Oh, a guy
yeah.
from the neighborhood was driving his boat and he hit a wave and he shot out of the boat. This is not funny, but I'm laughing. He shot out of his boat. He hit a wave while he's driving, Boston Whaler type boat. Hit a wave and shot out of the boat, and he's been missing for a week. He's shot that far out of his boat, and everybody's searching the Bay Area around. Like, what happened to him? You know, you float. If you're dead, you float. But he might not be dead, just injured somewhere. Who knows where he? Because there's all these little
He's
barrier.
dead now. Come on, 7 days. That's unless like he's on a raft where he's met a pet whale.
They're all because you get shallow water and you get these little islands out there. So he could be on. Who knows how far he shot?
Oh, he's
The
dead as
the
fuck.
witnesses, people who saw it, said he like did like an evil Knievel. He had to be going pretty. I'm sorry to be laughing
Maybe
at
he
this.
just landed directly into a shark's mouth. Have you got sharks
No,
there?
no
One which is
sharks and
like
no
you want
sharks
to.
in the bay. No sharks in
There
the
we
bay.
go.
But I'm sorry to laugh at that. It's tragic, but it's also listen. 5 years
I would
from now,
like to see the video. It's very sad, and I'm very sorry to hear for that loss. But I would like to see the video where he shot out the boat. That's
see,
all.
you can't prepare for that. You can't be. Wait,
No,
this guy's gonna hit that wave, and
well, you don't. You've got no idea. This is. I mean, not to be completely reckless, but people worry too much because it could be any moment. I've seen a lot of people die on video recently. It could
hmm
be any moment, mainly because I've run out of stuff on Pornhub to watch. But it could be any second for any reason, anything. Like you walk out your house, you could be gone in 3 seconds. You just got no idea.
Wow.
So just
Um.
relax.
So yeah. This leads me to the reels. So many of them. It seems set up. Like, how could you be ready for that? And like just happen to have the camera already out and catching some of these things. Do you think a lot of it is staged or
Yeah,
planned?
some of it, yeah, it depends what it is. Some of it, I think it is. It just depends if you've got 6 cameras out on something. I mean, who knows? Maybe you just sit there playing the piano with 6 cameras out, hoping that an attractive Eastern European girl will come up with a violin, going, "Do you play? I play. Let's play together." Which I
Yeah,
saw yesterday. It's very cute. But I was thinking, did they arrange this before or not? Who knows?
there is, but a lot of them just seem like weird things are gonna happen. Like, and you don't. There's no way you could expect that. So why would you have your camera out pointed at that area when all of a sudden, a UFO came down? And I'm not saying it's a UFO. Something really odd, you know, is going to happen in that spot, and you just happen to have your phone pointed
Yeah.
at
Well,
it.
I think there's also going to be a lot of coincidence, right? Because everyone has a phone. Everyone's filming everything. You're
Yeah,
filming your burger, everything you go, everything you're pointing at all times. And things are going to happen in the background of those scenes at times. But yeah, I think a lot of it is staged. But
yeah.
what kind of videos are you watching? Is it like a stepsister getting stuck in a washing machine? Like, help me.
Well, there's all sorts of shit. Like you go from one to another. You go from when I'm on it, it could be a stand-up comedian, one thing, then the woman talking to a cat, then the guys on the dock doing, dad jokes, and it goes in one after another of different kind
Addictive.
of.
I thought it's addictive. If I wake up early and pick up my phone, I'm fucked. It could be 2 hours, and I'm like,
I
I've
know.
got to go. I have to do something, and I should have slept for that whole time as well.
Yeah, all it takes is one to get you hooked. One to say, "Oh,
Yeah.
I like the Jets." This is the kind of ones where how could I'm seeing a lot of these frigging weird landings of pilots doing amazing saves. It's like, come on, you didn't. How did you know that was going to happen? You went out there and you're filming every jet. Is that the way people just go out there and sit there and park there and film jets all day long,
Oh yeah.
landing and
Oh
taking off?
yeah. Yeah, they do. There are people at every airport. There'll be people with a camera there 12 hours,
And
and
people
they'll just
say I
be.
need to get a life. Holy fuck!
Listen, there are people earning money on that shit on TikTok and shit like
I
that.
bet they
They'll
are.
just sit at the plane. Here's the Boeing 377 seats, like all day, just watching it come in. People love it. People play flight simulators all day.
Yeah.
It's
When was the
crazy
last
town.
time you were drinking?
I went for. I got hammered Saturday when I did a very very long stream, and then Jamie made his return. You saw some of that for the coronation,
That was
and then
Saturday. Oh yeah, I was on.
Saturday.
I kept coming
Yeah,
in and out of that one.
that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, and then Sunday I went out for a couple of drinks, but nothing crazy. That was it.
All right, because you sound like you sound like you've been clean and sober for 10 years.
Well, 3 or 4 days for me is like
It's
10
10
years
years.
for the
Yeah.
mortal man. Yeah. But the plan is to stay completely off the booze until I'm in Brighton next week. And I'm not going to be drunk, so I'll be drinking after the shows and stuff because it's a late show as well. So yeah, the plan is to stay off until then. But Saturday is a really nice day here, so we'll see how we go.
All right, you know what? Do you guys have anything equivalent to what John has started? When you're not on Facebook, but Road Comics of America seems to be a really good and one of the best little groups I've ever seen
Yeah,
used on
I
social
do.
media.
We've got a lot of comic groups. I tend to not go in them because there's a lot of drama, and maybe it's not like that all the time, but especially during COVID, there was so much drama every day. People fighting, people threatening to sue each other all the time. So I was like, I need to not go on any of those
Stuart,
groups, and I probably lose out by not being in some of those groups sometimes. But I just hate any
John
of the
does a
drama between
really they
comics.
should model it after what John I don't know exactly how he does it, but he's got little areas that if you want to get engaged in chat and bullshit like that, here's this section. And if you don't want to be part of that or see any of that, you don't have to go there. But the gig opportunities are in the main area. I don't know how he
Yeah,
does it.
we've got a couple. We've got regional ones for each region, like the equivalent of New York or whatever, but in England, so like Southwest, Northwest, South. We've got all that stuff, and then there's a couple of national ones, bigger ones with better gigs in. But yeah, they've all had a lot of drama over the years. But I should go and check out what they're like now because I've probably been out with them a couple of years. Really, I've spited myself to do it as well because there are useful stuff that pops up in there too.
Yeah.
But we'll see. But yeah, lots of bigger gigs coming in the next year, and lots of interesting things hopefully happening. So I will be more vocal about things vaguely
So
still.
the guest that was scheduled today, T Madden, but T-A it should be Tay, right? T Madden. He's from Alabama. I He calls himself Sweet Tea, I think. I mean a couple of his videos. I think he's a gay man. Fine. But uh he, uh, he's got this event coming up, Sweet Home Obama, which is the only reason I even bring this up is because it's Alabama. Alabama is probably the most conservative um, place, or maybe Mississippi has it, but they're neck and neck for the most conservative places on the planet, and not very LGBT, alphabet soup friendly. And to have an event, Sweet Home Obama. First of all, if I put an event out like that, I would be tarred and feathered. But to have that in Alabama, it's pretty, I don't know, risky. No,
I don't know. I'm sure all these cities have like, but yeah, I mean, you've got to do it as a comic, haven't you? If you live in an area that doesn't like something, you've got to do it. I think. I say.
yeah, but I mean, six comics, and that's kind of like going into enemy territory and saying, you know what, we're daring you to do something stupid. That's what I think. I mean, that's it's kind of asking for trouble. Not that they don't have a right to do it, but it's like, it's like going into Mormon country and going, let's have a Satanist rally. Or I don't know. I'm grasping at straws, but you know where you're gonna catch a lot of flack. You're gonna get some idiots who just hate you for being you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I mean, I think
brass
you should still
balls.
do it. I think you should still do it, though. Really, you should still do it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's.
you
I
should
mean,
still do it, but
half of those people that are angry are sucking a dick anyway. So
yeah, you should still
you
do it,
know.
but make sure you got like a ton of security because we don't live in a time where you can just stand up and say, "Yes, I am and who I am. I am who I am, and I'm proud of it," without having to worry about somebody with an AK-47 or
Yeah, I mean, America's nuts. I have to
AR-15 or
admit, you
whatever it is.
can't. When I was in Nashville with Brett, he was saying that they're trying to ban the LGBTQ flag completely. You're not allowed to have it on display anywhere. But if that was in the UK, people would have gone to that governor's house or whatever it is, senator's house, and drawn a big rainbow cock on his drive and spray painted his car.
Yeah,
So
but
we never put up with that here, but it's just, I don't know, it's just a bit crazy. But you've got to, at the same time, you can't just go, okay, then we'll never speak of it because it will make you people angry. I think that's also
yeah, I get
what we
it,
do,
but
right? I get
no,
the risk is different. The risk is different there because we don't have idiots going around with guns.
right. And it's not just guns. It's not just pistols either. I mean, I know, the whole gun argument is, well, but AR-15s, they're not like, it's not like a Tommy gun like in the old mob movies, Al Capone, Tommy guns. But he still gets off a lot of rounds pretty fast. There's a big difference between a pistol and that. And it's just like, it's. I don't know. I don't. Society is really scary. I was concerned on Sunday when that guy was going to come to kill me in the club. I didn't know who he was going to bring with him, or what he's going to bring
Mm,
with him, or if he was going to bring a
yeah,
weapon.
it's gonna be on your mind. I haven't had anything like that yet, but I'm sure I will at some point get some kind of threat.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'd be the same. You'd be looking at the door half the time, and everyone that
looking
comes in,
over
is
your
this it?
shoulder.
Is this it?
Right,
Yeah.
fucker, got into my head. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, he didn't get here today. I would have loved to talk to him about that if he would have been here last night. The guy didn't show up, and he was similarly really eager to be on the program. Sent me like 9 or 10 emails back and forth to set up the thing.
Mm,
And we even, I said comedians are better in the morning, and we had to go back and forth. And finally, he said took a night spot, and then didn't show up. It's like I'm
yeah,
back
can't
on.
be that eager. It's weird. It's weird to me. I mean, I could maybe make a mistake, but in general, if I've committed to do something, especially a podcast,
Right.
I'll be there.
Is it a podcast or iPod? Right? What's that? What you call it?
An
Uh,
iPodlian show. Yeah, it's not TV or radio though. I think, but I guess
it
yeah,
is.
you can call it what you can call it whatever you want. You can call it whatever you want.
It is TV and it is radio.
It is TV.
It's on
It's
Live
everything.
365 streaming radio. It's on iHeartRadio. Radio right in the name, radio. The app is called Mind Dog Radio, and you can get it on whatever app platform you're on.
Google Play Store, Apple, iTunes.
I want to go see Robert Klein's son. He's a chef in Brooklyn. And hey Al, I'm on an iPod. And then I got his whole story. But he's a chef in Brooklyn who used to be stand-up. It would be good to get his perspective on growing up the son of a comedy legend.
Yeah, hit him up. Sounds like a good one.
Who's your guy, Carl? Who would if you could meet a top comedian or somebody who would really impress you? Who's your
Living.
yeah
I
living?
probably Yeah, I mean, I try not to have heroes really these days, but I would like to have a conversation with Louis. I think that'll be a good conversation.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
You know what? I've gone down a rabbit hole of comedians hating on each other. I don't know how I got there, but and I don't know how much is true. YouTube stuff, you're listening to the opinion of the guy who put the friggin' video together.
Yeah,
But Bill Burr seems to me to have a lot of people he hates, at least according to all the YouTube videos. Like Bert Kreischer, Anthony Camilla, Nick DiPaolo, couple, yeah, more than that too. Have you ever seen any of these? I don't know, comedian feuds.
yeah. I try not to. I saw Kumia post a video because he got thrown out the Comedy Cellar by Bill Burr's security a few weeks
Oh,
ago.
I didn't know that one.
Yeah, but I think I didn't know anything about that beef at all. But apparently he was attacking interracial relationships a few years ago and brought up Bill Burr and his wife and stuff. And I think that's where that one came from.
Yeah, the one I saw, they were on. I guess Bill Burr was a guest on Camilla's, whatever compound media, whatever, and they were talking about the Black Israelites in New York City, and Camilla wants to go call him the N-word. And Bill Burr was saying, "Go ahead, tough guy, to leave your gun here and go call him the N-word." And then basically just started calling him a racist at that point, and it broke down into like shouting match. And I guess the thing you're talking about was after that, but they had several.
But you can understand. I mean, I did. Yeah, I mean, who knows? I don't think there's. I don't. I try not to follow any beef because who knows how true it is anyway. But that one did seem that it's a real one. It seems for a valid reason as well. So Kumi just seems like a sad old fuck at the moment.
Wow.
I don't know. It used to be funny, right? It used to be
Right.
all right, but now every time you see him, he's drunk, shaking,
Right.
and like writing weird tweets, race baiting and stuff.
Yeah. And the other one was the hate for Bert Kreischer. Now I know, I'm not a big Bert Kreischer fan. I think I've talked about that enough. But there is for a guy who is really good at marketing, has a lot of people who love him. There are people, and a lot of it's probably jealousy, right? Because he's successful, monetarily successful. Um, but there's quite a few people who hate him too, just like on the bad side. It's just odd to me to see that, and open
Well,
feuds.
there's a whole world of like hate YouTube channels and stuff that are designed. There's a lot about Brendan Sharp. There's like 10
Oh,
about him, and they all get thousands of views. And
wow.
did you freeze?
Yeah,
What
no,
happened?
because
But yeah, I don't know.
when you said Brendan Schaub on my YouTube channel, this bothered me because I'm a big Brendan Walsh fan, as you know, and this was a clip you were on when Brendan Walsh was um, doing his, whatever Yelp review thing, uh, and
Yeah,
God, it won't open now, damn it. Oh, here it is. Other than being a genius comedian, Brendan, talking about Walsh, has something in common with Brendan Schwab. You see, Brendan's mom was a kleptomaniac and used to steal all kinds of things. She would take Mr. Schwab and his brother Axe J out to restaurants and tell them to order whatever they wanted, so they would get burgers, cake, milkshakes, and then their mom would dine and dash. Back to Sir Brendan Walsh. As we just heard, Brendan is a connoisseur of exotic birds. Not really. And so was Brendan Schwab. His mother stole peacocks from the zoo and would keep it in Brandon's closet. Two genius comedians, two exotic bird enthusiasts. What a cool duo. First of all, Brendan Walsh was fiction, purely fiction. Now, none of that stuff was true. But Brendan Schwab, he's not on Brendan Walsh's level of hysterical or creative or genius comedy, is he? From
no,
what
I don't think he's very good. But I there's a lot of hate towards him. I think Walsh has been on a Brendan Schaub hate podcast before.
So is that what that's all about?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think there's been a bit of. I think he's been quite open about it as well. But yeah, I don't know.
So
people
you think
people
that
be
comment is
crazy.
real, or that guy just busted my balls?
Oh, that was a comment on that podcast. That's someone with that's lots of in jokes. There's a lot of in jokes. He's probably a Wolves fan. That sounds like a very Walshian fan thing. And there's a whole Reddit hate page of Brendan Schaub, and people call themselves the homeless cats, and they dine at PF Chang's. There's a whole sub language about people who hate on Schaub, and Walsh has been part of it a little bit with a couple of the podcasters over there, but some of it's quite funny, to be fair.
I feel like such an outdated, old, fucking worn out
You are.
shoe.
You're
I
a
know
worn
it.
out shoe. That's how I describe you. But you're staying in it. You're staying in the game. You know.
But the Reddit stuff, I can't fucking figure it out. I mean, I get emails where I get emails of notifications of stuff I might be interested in. That's good. Then I can go there and read it. I can't post anything, and I can't find like what I'm looking for. Stuff on there. It's none of these platforms are made for old people. It's like you have to be.
Everything. It's tough, and if you've had the same ones around for a while, and if you haven't used, I mean, look, I struggled with Discord for a bit until the last year or so, the last few months even. Now I understand that Reddit took me a while to get into, but I like Reddit's just one big forum. Basically, it's one big. If you think about the old school forum, it's just a big forum.
Right. Like a
so
BBS system, right?
Yeah. So you've got each r/whatever. Our Mind Dog would be about your show, right? Or our Fighter and the Kid would be about Brendan Sharp. So it's just you can go in there and talk about a specific subject: travel, cooking, baking, porn, whatever you're into.
Now, why would you say porn? Whatever I'm into, you stop at porn and then you look at me and say whatever you're into.
Well, I'm looking at the webcam. I'm looking at me as well. I'm on the screen as well. To be honest, I could be looking at both of us.
Whatever you're into.
And the chat room.
I'm not into porn. There was don't get me wrong. I worked in a factory that mass produced.
I went to a speakeasy here on Sunday. It was underground place just because it was really busy. So I wanted somewhere that was sort of out the way. And it turns I didn't know what it was till I went in. It was a vintage porn bar, and they're actually playing porn on TVs, but like old 70s, late 60s porn on old black and white TVs.
I don't think.
Phenomenal place.
Yeah, there was some porn in the late 60s.
Well, maybe like late 70s, but it was like on an old black and white TV, and they're playing like old big bush porn.
Yeah.
On the side.
What? I can't remember what we used to call them. Stag films, and your uncle would have them. My uncle, Mitchell's uncle, had them in a cabinet with a lock on it, but we could just undo the hinges and take out his porn films and watch them on 8mm. 11-year-old kids with an 8mm projector spinning around with the silent porn from the 1920s and 30s.
That's what I think. But it was a cool bar. There's some good cocktails, and it was just it's vintage porn vibe all around the place. Pictures, but it's hidden. No one knows what it is. There's no sign outside. There is a light and a security guy, but
I don't think I could stay there and drink with vintage porn being flashed all over the place.
It's on little monitors. I was barely looking at it, but it is fun. It's just funny to be around there, and barely anyone in the city knows about this place. It's kind of hidden, but it's good. Cocktails were good. I was only in there an hour.
Wow. There was I remember when I was a teenager, the most erotic thing I saw as a very young teen, I'm talking 13, a movie, a black and white movie that was a legitimate Hollywood movie of its time with Clark Gable and Carol Lombard. Carol Lombard is in a.
Did she show some ankle? Did
Huh?
she show some ankle? Like
no, she's in a hot tub thing, and for a second, the nipple comes out of the water.
Oh,
and this is 1930, and to me, that was the most erotic thing I'd ever seen, because the idea of old people, people from the black and white days, actually being like naked in hot tubs and having like 1970s style sex, like it changed my perception.
They didn't know they were in black and white. To be fair to them, they were just living their life, man. And we made them black and white.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I tried to Google Clark Gable hot tub movie and couldn't find anything.
No, Clark Gable and Carol Lombard. I'll figure it out.
Carol Lombard. Well, I want to see this Carol Lombard nip. Who else who won't put it on YouTube? But was it called? Oh no, hang on. No Man of Her Own.
Doesn't sound like it. For some reason, clock it. Wow, that comes right up. Made each other. Clark Gable and Carol Lombard. That was the first. I started typing CL and Clark Gable and Carol. It's like it's listening to me.
Google, of course, it's listening.
No Man Around, Clear. No,
I can't find any nipple.
maybe that
I
was.
can't find it. Maybe they made a bunch of movies. Yeah, I
Yeah, they
can't find
did.
any pictures of that. So we'll look into that. We'll do some research. If anyone can do some Carol Lombard nip research, be well appreciated.
Oh yeah. Carol Lombard. Afterward. Oh, they got married. I didn't know they got married. Holy shit. The tragic real life story of Clark Gable and Carol Lombard. Interesting. I'll definitely find it. I'll post it tomorrow. I'll find that video. I don't know if we could see the nip come out of the hot tub.
Sounds good though. Sounds good. I mean, that must have been at the
No,
time.
for a
that must have
13-year-old,
been
it was like, oh my god, because
Yeah, but
you're
for
not
everyone.
expecting it. You're not
for everyone. It
expecting
must have been the most, hardcore porn you could find.
It was
Just a
before
little
they
nip
had the
stuff.
Hays Commission in the United States, which the Hays Commission came into effect right after that, and that's when they started rating movies, G, M, whatever, R,
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. And at the time, there was G, M, and R. M was for mature audiences. They changed that to PG, parental guidance.
Yeah,
Well,
we had PG.
Yeah. 13 years. You had to be 13 to watch those movies.
We had that. So we've got age. So we've got we had a U, which was universal green thing for kids. We had PG, which was like about 11, 12. Then we had 18, and that was it. So we did it by age. But they did bring in 15, and they brought in 15 specifically for the Michael Keaton Batman in 1989 because they want some kids to go and see it. And then they brought in, I think we might have brought in a PG-13 or something as well.
That's power that one movie can change a whole
rating system. Yeah. Because then it gave you a middle ground between a kids movie and an 18. So it's like that. That's probably almost like the PG-13 is the 15 here. But I don't know, man. I was buying 18 movies when I was 9. So that's the stuff I like.
And now if you're like 5, you can get it just streaming into your bedroom. I mean, really, anybody
you can find like interracial fetal alcohol syndrome porn on your dad's phone like immediately.
Bizarre. It's bizarre. And in my day, here I am, grandpa.
My day.
There was X and there was XXX. So there were X. Marlon Brando was in a movie called Last Tango in Paris that was an rated X.
Right.
And you could see that if you were 18 or over. But then there was XXX, which was 21 or over.
Was that like soft core or something like that, where you get titties and like pretend fucking?
No, I think maybe there was no ejaculation scenes but it's full out, fucking and sucking and all that stuff.
Because I remember we had TV channels and stuff that you'd have to scramble on digital. That would be soft core. It would be the whole thing would be. You were just waiting for the bit where the tits came out. You'd never really see anything, but you'd see an ass and titties or an ass.
Becky is saying that somebody died on the soap operas. That's what the Jackie thing was all about. Jackie Zeman. She was Maury the K's wife. Very pretty woman. I talked about her early in the show, but they had R.I.P. Jackie. That's the reason that was trending last night. It scared me.
Stuff. It is. I mean, was it the only? So one person to put that one in as a joke.
Yeah, but it was the first one I saw. So I clicked into R.I.P. Jackie, thinking, "Oh my God, I hope it's not Jackie." And then I clicked on it. Here he is in the tux, looking at. I'm like, "Oh fuck, he died."
Poor old bastard. I was thinking the other day, I'm gonna give Jackie an email at some point. I'll figure out what I need to write to him. I'm gonna write him a nice letter.
Yeah, he really
to AOL.com or whatever it is. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah. Jokeland at AOL.com.
Jokeland at AOL.com. That's right.
Everybody write to Jackie today. Just say hi, Jackie.
Yeah, the last email that I got from him was like, "You never told me you finished my book." Like, all right, sorry, I forgot. But then he's also sent me the extra chapters, but he sent them in. I'm gonna have to read them on my computer screen because they're in like Word document or something.
Yeah.
the edited chapters. So I never did that, but I will get round to it. I promise.
Yeah. Streams. What are you doing? You got shows? You got you're still not planning? You're still just doing flying by the seat of your pants?
No, yeah, I'm trying not to, but I am away next week at this thing, so I might do some stuff. I might, if I can get some equipment pulled together that works, I'll do some in-person stuff down at the Fringe at the Comedy Festival. Saturday there should be something, maybe a movie thing. Saturday night, Sin City, be doing with Jamie. And yeah,
What
yes,
are you doing with Jamie?
We're going to do a Sin City movie watch along, and then we'll hang on a podcast.
Sin City. What?
Yeah,
who's in? Is that an old movie? What is that?
2005. So it's Bruce Willis, Jessica Alba. What's his face? Yeah, with the beat up face. It's a black and white like comic book type thing, but it's good. Robert Rodriguez directed it.
Wow.
It's a good movie.
Cool.
But we're going to hang and talk about it and then just, do a podcast after that. There'll be another episode coming out next Monday with a comedian, which I will announce shortly. And then, so a few bits and bobs. And then if I can get enough equipment to Brighton and if I can get stuff working and cables working and all that shit, we'll do some in-person stuff down in Brighton by the sea.
All right, now clear me up here on. I know we've asked you this before. I'm so confused. With the movie Sin City, are you going to show the people going to be seeing it on your screen? Like, are you watching it? It's like
I'm not. No, you can kind of sometimes get away with that stuff on Twitch, but I'm not going to do it. We're going to just get everyone. Because I can also stream it through Discord for people to watch at the same time, but it's a whole thing. I might not be able to do it this week, but we're just going to tell about 10 people go and watch the movie with us. We're going to talk along with it.
People do that and monetize it, though. This is why I'm confused, because they can claim whatever that is, that fair use stuff for educational purposes or commentary, editorial purposes to comment on it. And you're going to be commenting on it, right? How do you get a fair?
Yeah, but I guarantee we won't get away with it. So I mean, there's a couple of big movie shows that will play a movie and they'll show 10 seconds. They'll clip out to another bit. 10 seconds. They'll clip out. So they kind of show the movie and get away with it. But YouTube's very funny about it. Twitch, you can kind of get away with some stuff. And it's monetized because people can subscribe or give you bit donations while it's playing. But in theory, it's illegal and they can kick you off and all that stuff. But I've seen a lot of people do it. Won't mention names.
Is it a matter of having a lawyer and getting the ducks in a row, your fair use argument? And just if you have good enough legal documentation of fair use stuff.
I think a good legally based disclaimer in the description is a start, and then you have to know how to appeal. So when it comes in, to be able to appeal it, but it's a bit of a risky one, I think.
I have 30 or 40 what do they call it, public domain movies from the 1930s and 40s, Marx Brothers and Abbott and Costello and that kind of stuff. Because they're public domain, nobody owns the copyright anymore. You think that would? Nah, I know only people my age and me and Robert Klein will be the only ones watching. But do you think I can get away with that?
You could definitely, if it's in public domain, yes, especially because I was playing some. I looked into the same thing and I was playing some really old Fleischler. Is it Fleischler Superman cartoons? I did that on Twitch a few weeks ago, and I'll probably do it again.
There's a site that just has public domain movies, full, and you can download them. Now, they're not just always 30s and 40s stuff. I think some of it goes as far up to like 1970s.
Yeah, I think so. There's a list of it, and there's some YouTube channels out there that do show older stuff and get away with it. And some YouTube channels are showing like TV shows from the last few years and getting away with it. It's weird. It is a weird one. And even if they demonetize that, if you're getting a lot of people watching, you can put little donation links and
buy me
coffee and all that stuff. So
buy me coffee, and make sure it's Koa coffee and $100 a cup.
That's Koa coffee, the best coffee in the world.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
So yeah. Well, I'm sorry he didn't show up today.
Sorry too.
T Madden, football fan.
It sounds like a 2-day wine hangover. It's still no excuse to get out of bed.
Look at this misogynist bastard, Craig Johnson. You see what he's saying?
Oh, you haven't seen this. You haven't seen this scene. Go and watch the trailer for Sin City. It's Jessica Alba in a cowboy outfit in 2005 in a seedy bar in black and white. It's phenomenal. Yeah.
My desk is rising all by myself. All by itself.
You'd have a heart attack.
I know. Scene. Some people are just born perfect looking, and she was. I don't know if she still is. I hope she still is.
She's still very attractive. Yeah.
All right, you want to get the fuck out of here?
I'm easy. Do you want to get the fuck out of here?
Not really. I'm just like I'm lost.
You okay?
Last night was very productive, Carl. Did I tell you about?
I saw you taking some more hero edibles.
Rapid onset super.
Yeah, I'd die. You know how fucked up I was from that strength in the stand.
Yeah, but this is just like I only 15 milligrams. I took one last night.
I took 50 milligrams, and that's when I was in the bar in New York going, I'm too high.
Yeah. Well, I was tripping last night on them. Definitely LSD type of stuff. Oh, that's what I want to talk to you about.
See you, Becky.
The YouTube. Have you experimented at all with the YouTube thumbnail creator?
I haven't yet. Yeah. I'll have a look at it.
Holy fuck! It's just like the thing is. I went to do one for Robert Klein last night, and it made him look like a weird Andy Warhol Robert Klein. Like what the? And I guess AI.
Do you have to put a prompt in? Do you have to say make a thumbnail or Robert Klein's that? Yeah. So a lot of it's like it's called prompt engineering, but it's just about how to write a prompt. So there might be some tutorials on the best way to describe it.
Right, but they all come out like with the psychedelic, like super like vibrant colors and all that. No matter what the thing is, I think.
Have you tried like Robert Klein at a comedy club? Photorealistic, like that kind of description.
Oh, really? No,
I'd try something like that. I don't know. I've used Midjourney, which at the moment you can't use free, but YouTube, it'll be something similar. So I bet there's tutorials on prompts for YouTube thumbnail generator, something like that.
Yeah. Becky, thank you for. She likes the closing song on the show. Now you can download that. You can get an MP3 of that absolutely free on all those. Absolutely, every one of those apps that do that app, whatever you use, Apple, Spotify, all that stuff. But I believe it's also, I'll put the link. I think I'll make sure it's on the homepage, but it's on the site somewhere where you can download all my music.
Yeah, I've listened to a few on Spotify before, so yeah.
And it plays in rotation on Live 365.
Yeah, I've got your app. I'm going to prove it to you. I have your app. Craig Johnson has your app.
Yeah.
I can't actually. I don't know where it is on here.
There
it is. There's your little face.
Yeah.
Got it.
Oh, I love me. That does look remarkably like me.
It's pretty good. It's a pretty good one, and this was before the trend of all these like cartoony AI avatars as well. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
You're a little bit thin in this one. It looks like you're not eating well.
Yeah,
your shoulders are souped in a little bit there. I think you're bigger than that in real life.
I think I probably am. Yeah, I'm definitely bigger than on your phone.
That is true.
So fucking stupid. See, this is what happens. Also, I got some good weed though from the same mood. I might as well start, right? Sour Diesel. You can buy it starting with a gram, but you get discounts the more you buy. $75 a quarter. Great stuff, Sour Diesel.
I want to eat them right now. Do you know what I'm gonna have to do? I'm gonna have to call, because over here they're illegal. I'm gonna have to call some dirty friends today, some dirty comedians that I know, and say, "Give me some drugs, please."
Yeah, this ain't even drugs, but that's weird. It's weird.
It's drugs.
Places think it's drugs still.
It is drugs, though, isn't it? I mean, caffeine, weed, booze, drugs. We're all drug addicts.
Well, I guess. I don't think of it. Tommy, it's medicine, man. It's always been medicine, man. Okay.
Well, yeah, drugs are medicine too.
You know what? I gotta write to John Paul today. I want to get Tommy on the morning show. Tommy Chung. He's doing business with Cheech in the area. I want to get them both. See, everybody's
phenomenal. Cheech and Chong on the show. Come on now.
Right. Everybody's got Tommy now. Tommy's been on everybody's podcast. He's been on, your mother's podcast. He's been on your grandmother's podcast, your grandfather's podcast. But nobody's had the two of them together on. That would
That'd
be.
be phenomenal. Yeah.
I wanna be phenomenal. Can I be
You got to
phenomenal?
ask. You can only ask, can't you? You can only say no.
I mean, is there a manual on how to get phenomenal?
Yeah. It's called. No, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it.
What are you gonna say? What are you gonna...
I was going to say Mein Kampf, but it's it's just the first thing that pops in there. I said it now.
Well, Robert Taylor, who's been on this program and will be back, the other night he had a joke about. He was in a comedy club doing this joke about the last weekend's mass shooting in Texas. I thought, that fucking brass ball. You talk too soon, 2 weeks after 9/11 to be doing jokes. I mean, right after a mass shooting in the South. Kudos to him. Fucking.
It depends what you're saying. I mean, yeah. I love it. There's no too soon for me. It's got to be the day. I mean, if there's a terror attack here again, it'll be that day. If I'm doing something that day or the next day, we're having a laugh about it. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. Well, and he wrote it in his car on the way to the fucking balls, man. I would never have the balls to do that just because I thought of it in the car on the way to the club and perform it that night without even like working it out or thinking like what's the reaction going to be. I mean,
I love it. I love topical stuff like that. We don't have too many mass shootings, but if something happens, like when the Queen died, I had a gig that night. And it was the first 5-10 minutes was on about the Queen dying and about the day and about how it happened.
The problem with those kind of things, now is that they go by so fast. The jokes will only last 3 days until the next fucking news cycle,
Yeah, but that's fine. You don't need to keep it around forever. I'll put it in a special, do you? It's just like you just have some fun that night with the crowd and joke about what's just happened. I think you should do a little bit of that as well. You don't have to, but I like doing a little bit of that. I like doing about. There's a few topical things that I have, or articles that I've read that have lasted a couple of years. I've managed to squeeze a couple of years out of it, but yeah.
Do you even were you ever, or do you care at all about Rodney Dangerfield? I mean, as a
I didn't growing up. I didn't know much about him. We didn't have him on TV too much over here. But since the last few years with people talking about it, and I've gone back and watched. I went back and watched the one his shows when he had people like Dice Clay coming on for the first time and that kind of stuff. I've seen that whole episode.
Yeah.
On it, but yeah, I like a bit of.
Well, it's not even so much whether you're being a fan of him, but just understanding his impact on how you talk about Dice Clay, you talk about Dane Cook, you talk about Dave Attell, or I'm not sure if Stanhope.
I'm interested. I'm interested in it. Sometimes I'll forget stuff now. I'm interested in that with music, and I am interested in that historical stuff with comedy as well. I just don't know all the details about everyone, but I know he was. Obviously, he had his club in New York, right?
Right. He's from Long Island, from North Babylon, Deer Park area in Long Island, very close to where I grew up. But his impact is on so many people. Klein was one of his first proteges, but he had so many people who were part of his entourage and he put to work and in his club and all that stuff, that his footprint in modern comedy, even down to people today, young people today who if they've been in 15, if like 40 years, they're 40 old years or older, were still around before he died, or that fucking impact is everywhere in comedy. And there should be a fucking statue to him. He's like the Rodney Jesus of comedy. They even did a dog, like Rodney Danger Dog or something, right? Or something in cartoon.
It's amazing. I don't know. I need to dive back into a lot of that history as well, because I do like it, and you do hear people talking about it. I remember because his club closed a couple of years ago, right?
Right.
When did he die?
2005.
2005, yeah. Yeah, people talk about him in good terms. Huh?
Kat took a picture of the club the other day. There's rumors that Caroline's might reopen there.
Oh, because they're shutting, right? It must have been a problem with their location.
Yeah.
I heard Dangerfield's the club towards the end got a bit sad, and no one was going there, and it got a bit. just fell off. I think whoever was running it wasn't probably running it well.
Becky says Rodney had Becky
It was rap album.
rap album. I did not know that. I have to look into that. A Rodney rap album.
Well, I hope someone like Caroline's goes there, because that was a bit of a shock when they closed, because it's another one of the famous New York clubs. Louis' TV show was shot there, most of his stand-up bits. But
Yeah.
it's another one of those clubs with history. So when they do go, it's a shame. So if they can get into another one that closed down, sadly, that's a good thing. I hope so.
Yeah. And then the other part I don't want to keep it too long, but the other thing that people were talking about is Lenny Bruce, and everybody talks about Lenny Bruce as an influence. And the guy who was supposed to be on last night listed that, and that was where we're going to start, because he is at least 20 years younger than me. I've never really seen Lenny Bruce. I've seen very few clips on YouTube. None of it holds up today. None of what I've seen holds up any day. So how could somebody 40 years old say they list Lenny Bruce as a big influence, or just it's like a Jesus thing, a myth?
Yeah, I think it's probably more that, getting arrested for doing comedy and that kind of thing, and his balls on it. Maybe it's more inspirational than the actual jokes. Yeah, because the jokes are hard to stand up 70 years later or whenever it was.
He didn't do a lot of TV, so there's not a lot of material around him. Now, AW the other day said vinyl, but even somebody 40 years old, unless they are like a DJ or something, they don't have a vinyl player, much less Lenny Bruce's vinyl records.
Well, he might have vinyls big. Vinyls are big medium now.
There was an article, and who knows, one of these fucking magazines, but it said that 90% of people who are buying vinyl now don't have anything to play it on.
Can I let you into a little secret, world? I own 2 new vinyls and I don't have everything to play it on. And I was going to buy another one last week as well. I know, but with me, one was a drunk purchase and I forgot, and it turned up like 6 years ago in the post. I was like, "What the fuck is this?" It's like vinyl.
No,
great. And then I brought one last year because it came with some tickets for a gig and that kind of stuff. And I almost did it recently to support another Sheffield-based band, Reverend and the Makers. But I intend to get a player. That's the difference with me. I've been intending to get a player for the last 3 years.
I think everybody. That's I think that's across the board. You say,
I just forget. I do another year. I'm gonna get one this year, but I do like vinyl, and I like having the big covers, and I think they look good stuck to the wall and that kind of stuff.
Me too. And if I were in a place that was selling, vinyl, and I saw, I gotta have this. I don't have a player, but then
what you notice now? Our big store was HMV. It stands for His Master's Voice, but it was HMV is where you went for music, DVDs back in the day. Now, when you go in there, it used to be mainly DVDs or mainly CDs. Now, when you go in, it's mostly vinyl. They don't sell any movies now because most of those are digital. So you get cables, phone shit, and then it's all vinyl. So that's the major chain, and there's loads of independent stores as well, especially in Manchester.
Yeah, and but the intent, I think, for me, is definitely to buy. And I know it would work backwards. I would buy the album first and then buy the player. That's how it would work with me.
Yeah, I've got 2 nicely unopened vinyls somewhere in this wardrobe.
Wow. Did you see this comment? I bought the Fratellis album from
HMV in Dublin. There we go. What, vinyl?
I didn't. I thought, yeah. Wow. Manchester.
Manchester. So you say it, Manchester.
Oh, so yeah. So the idea, because people talk about Hicks too. Now Hicks is on tape, so we can see his work. But it's just like everybody who mentions Lenny Bruce, I'm like, he didn't do a lot of his best stuff. Never was on TV. And Jackie was saying that he was an impressionist. He did like impressions and stuff in the 50s. In the late 50s, but nobody saw that stuff unless you went to a comedy club. You weren't exposed to him because he wasn't on TV. So how could he have been?
But you can be influenced by someone's actions, right? Not let's just say jokes. You can read a book about Lenny Bruce.
Yeah,
And
that's
go,
true.
fucking great, man.
You're absolutely right
It's
about that. But I
inspiring.
do think my soapbox here.
I
is
wouldn't.
that-
I wouldn't list. Yeah, I would list. I saw Carlin when I was a kid, and when I was like 50. You know, Carlin's on video everywhere, and I watched it a lot, and I liked it. And eventually, I started doing some level of stand up. So I could probably say, yeah, Carlin's in the mix for me. Louis, but he's more recent,
Right.
and that's more
Yep. No,
obvious. But
I just think
I wouldn't personally say Lenny Bruce, but I respect what he did, and I know a little bit about what he did, and even just
is
getting up and
the
getting
the
arrested when he
myth
knew he'd
of
get
Lenny.
arrested.
I think the myth of Lenny Bruce is what people are influenced by. It's like uh, it's like Jesus. There's a lot of claims made about him. He walked on water.
Yeah, no one. You shouldn't ever hold anyone to that standard, even Jesus. Are you listening, church?
He is listening. He's not a fan. I get a lot of hate mail from him. We have to say
Not
goodbye to Gov. Bye, Gov.